Hi guys, my name is Trinity, and if you're here to see me talk about some books, and today I have a confession to make. I am really behind on my ARCs. So I wanted to talk to you guys about what I have coming for you, what I have review-wise, and the fact that I still have not reviewed The Book Eaters. So I do have a tendency to put off reviewing books on the channel. Book reviews tend to be a little difficult for me because of my ADHD. I can't quite get my thoughts cohesive, and then I put them off too long. However, these books I have put off reading for one reason or another. I keep doing readathons, which we've talked about that. I'm not doing those anymore. I keep doing challenges. I'm not doing those anymore. There are books that are certainly taking priority right now because I've put them off for so long. But I want to talk to you guys about the ones that I have coming. So let's kick this off by talking about the book that gives me the most shame. The book that I've had in ARC form for longer than I want to admit. And that is Seven Deaths of an Empire by G.R. Matthews. Man, I was so excited for this book. I was pumped, and then I kind of forgot about it. This tends to happen to me with ebooks, and part of the reason I don't like ebooks is because I will forget about them, but the other part is my dyslexia and the fact that ebooks don't always work for me and they give me headaches. But I got this book in ebook form just as I was starting to realize that ebooks were a problem for me. But I do have this. I have since picked up the audio for this, and I am planning to listen to it. I do want to point out that some of the reviews for it haven't been that great, but it sounds like it's going to be up my alley, so I'm still excited to give it a try because I really like grimdark fantasy, and this is grimdark fantasy. So what I remember of the synopsis, we are dealing with the emperor being dead, and now all of a sudden there are thieves and assassins making themselves known in this kingdom, and there is a rebellion going on. And we have a general whose main purpose in this rebellion is to save the life of the prince. And I remember the tagline being 7 lives and 7 deaths to seal the fate of the empire. So it still sounds like a book that I am very interested in. I just, like I said, I have it in ebook form, and so I forgot about it. And then I got the audio on sale, so I will be doing it that way. But this is one I got from NetGalley, and I'm sorry. I totally forgot about it until I started compiling this list. Now, one that has been on my NetGalley shelf for almost as long as Seven Deaths of an Empire would be Questland by Carrie Vaughn. This sounds like it is going to be a blast and a half. And again, it's an ebook I got from NetGalley that I totally forgot to read, seeing as how I tend to forget ebooks. But this one, like I said, sounds like a blast. We have a girl who gets a job, and she is controlling this world where these billionaires are paying to live out their fantasies. And when I say that, like dragons and sword battles and all kinds of things, whatever they can think up and live themselves, they're going to be in this like virtual reality type setting, but it's all isolated. And then when someone breaks down the shield to this island that they are on, they start to have problems. But then her and her ex are tasked with creating a mercenary group and trying to rein everything back in. So it sounds like it could be really fun. I'm not expecting this one to blow me away, but I am expecting to enjoy my time reading this. And I just, like I said, it was an ebook and I never got around to it. I forgot it was there. And I am getting much better about ebooks because I now have a Kindle, and my Kindle is working a lot better for me than the regular screen readers were. Catching up to books that I have, but just haven't gotten around to yet. And I have ARCs of all of these, so I'm dying to get to all of them, but like I said, I keep letting other things get in the way, and I still need to read and review these. Those two were ones that I just kind of left on NetGalley and like didn't read, so the rest of these are going to be current. The first book in the Glass Immortals series by Brian McClellan, In the Shadow of Lightning. Now, this will be my first Brian McClellan book, but I'm actually very excited to get around to it. It has been pretty highly praised so far. So our main character is an outcast. He's given up all of his power that he had in this world. He fled from being a general, a governor, all of these things. He just didn't want to deal with it anymore. But then his mother is slain and he has to return in order to discover who got her killed. And then Godglass, the thing that powers this world, the element that powers this world, is starting to run low. And this is going to lead them into war. This sounds like a book that is completely up my alley, and I'm so excited to get to it. I only put this off because I had the audio from NetGalley and it had it for 2 days. 2 days. However, I did end up getting another audio of it, and NetGalley kind of just booted me out. But then whenever I got the other one, I was like, okay, fine. NetGalley, but I still have another audio for it, and I will be reading it as soon as I can get around to it. Next, I have Ymir by Rich Larson. This is a sci-fi retelling of Beowulf. Now, you guys might not know this, but I studied English literature and have an English degree. And so when I hear a retelling of Beowulf, I'm intrigued. I am very, very intrigued. Now, this is one I have on ALC from Hachette Audio, and I'm dying to get to this one. I just know that with this one, I'm going to have to devote time to sitting down, listening to it, and absorbing it, because I know with it being a Beowulf retelling, it's going to be pretty rich. And I kind of love Beowulf with a sci-fi spin. That sounds really, really cool. Next, I have one that I was super excited for and kind of forgot I had it, because whenever you sign up for Hachette Audio, there are 2 different ways you can get books. And I always go to the one app to get books and forget about the other. But I've been so excited to read August Kiko and the Mechas from Space by Alex White. It sounds like it's going to be a blast and a half. Listen to this. When an army of giant robot AIs threatens to devastate Earth, a virtuoso pianist becomes humanity's last hope in this bold, lightning-paced Technicolor new space opera series from the author of A Big Ship at the End of the Universe. Okay, so a pianist is going to save the world. It sounds like it's going to be a fun ride. I'm always down for fun books. I never am put off by things that are just fun. You know, you'll hear a lot of people just be like, well, it was fun, but it wasn't great. No, to me, it was entertaining. That is value. I love things that are just entertaining. And so this is one that I think might be that, and I'm okay with it. I am totally okay with it. So you guys might have seen my wrap up where I read Daughter of Sparta. It was in my reader toss. Well, almost immediately after I finished that book, I got the list of audios that I could request, and Blood of Troy was on it. And I was like, perfect timing, because I just finished the first book. Now I have the second. This one was one that was just fun. It had a main character who didn't know her place in the world, and she gets recruited by the gods to help save Olympus. And then she ends up going on a quest with one of the gods to fulfill her mission of saving Olympus. And it was really fun. It was kind of like an elevated Percy Jackson. You know, it's not modern times. It's definitely set in Greece at the time when the gods would have been prevalent. But I loved it. It just reminded me so much of Percy Jackson, like mixed with Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Just enjoyed the heck out of it. So I'm very, very excited to be getting to the second book. Next, I have Belladonna by Adeline Grace. Now, you guys might know that I have loved Adeline Grace in the past. So when I found out that Adeline Grace was writing a Gothic novel, I had to jump on it. I had to. I really like Adeline Grace's writing. So getting this is just kind of a welcome breath of fresh air, I guess I should say, because sometimes when you pick up ALCs or when you get an ARC, it's from an author you don't know. And having one that I've loved in the past, yes, so excited for this. And it says, orphaned as a baby, 19-year-old Signa has been raised by a string of guardians, each more interested in her wealth than her well-being, and each has met an untimely end. So yes, it definitely sounds like it's going to be up my alley. And, you know, my son, he watches Lemony Snicket on TV. So this also gave me Lemony Snicket vibes. And so I'm pretty pumped. I'm pretty pumped. The one that everyone seems to be talking about, Ruination. Now, I have never played League of Legends, and that's kind of why I have put this book off, because I didn't realize it was going to be based off of a game. However, that doesn't necessarily put me off to the book. You guys know I'm a huge BioWare fan. I've read the comics, I've read the books, all of that. So it's not something like that's putting me off. I'm just not familiar with the game. So I was kind of wanting to hold off on reading it until I heard someone who'd played League of Legends review the book, because I didn't want to be lost going into this book and then hate it. But now that I have found out that you do not have to have played League of Legends to actually read the book and understand what's going on, I'm very excited for it. It's one of those things that, you know, you hear the synopsis of a book, you immediately love it. And so you go to click the yes, I want this one, but you didn't look at all of the specs. That's what happened to me with this one. One that will surprise absolutely none of you is I have Ithaca by Claire North. You guys know I cannot pass up a mythology retelling. I can't do it. I have read Kayeke, I have read The Witch's Heart, I have read Circe, Sister Song, I like all of them. I have Electra, I have Ariadne, so it only stands to reason that I would request Ithaca when it became available. Now, this one actually talks about how the women of Ithaca got left behind when Odysseus sailed to Troy. And so I'm very excited to see what this book is going to offer as far as the women's lives go. I do have the issue of books sometimes being a little too mundane when they read like a slice of life novel. I had that a little bit with The Thousand Ships by Natalie Haynes, but I am very, very excited to get into this because I love these stories of forgotten women. I really, really enjoy them. I'm anticipating loving this book just as much as I have the other ones that are kind of written in the same vein. And on that note, I also have the Book of Gothel by Mary McMine. So I'm definitely looking forward to a villain origin story. I really, really love those. And now I've heard mixed reviews of the Book of Gothel saying that this book didn't take the route that most people were expecting it to take. And I'm hoping that doesn't happen with me, but I'm still very, very intrigued by this because I really, really love like Malice and a few of the others that have done the villain origin stories. And I'm hoping that whenever I get into this, I won't be put off by what other people have been put off by, and that I can just read this as a villain origin story and enjoy it. Next, I have One Dark Window, and I'm going to read you the little synopsis. It says, Elspeth Spindle needs more than luck to stay safe in the eerie Mistlock kingdom of Blunder. She needs a monster. She calls him the Nightmare, an ancient mercurial spirit trapped in her head. He protects her. He keeps her secrets. But nothing comes for free, especially magic. I am dying to read this. I haven't heard anybody talk about this yet, but it's currently at a 4.31 on Goodreads. And yeah, it definitely sounds up my alley. I love dark stories. I love things that delve into the psyche of the main characters. And so it just sounds totally up my alley. Again, it's just one I haven't gotten around to reading, and I am just more and more eager. The more I talk about it myself, the more I look at the cover of the book. Love the cover. And it does read like maybe we'll get a little bit of a gothic tale, and that always speaks to my heart. It also sounds like it's going to be a great read for October. So fingers crossed there, fingers crossed. And last but certainly not least, the book I most recently received that I haven't gotten around to yet is White as Witching by Catherine Buell. It says, a wicked queen, dark magic, a heart as cold and fierce as winter. The selection is a lie. The 5 girls chosen each year do not vanish into a life of royal luxury, as most believe. Snow knows this because she knows her aunt Lyric, the witch queen of Chrysalia, murderess and usurper. When the selection comes to the remote village where Snow has hidden since her father's murder, she puts herself forward, trusting in her scarred face to hide her identity and enters the castle she fled 7 years ago, a place now haunted by unnatural whispers and eerie shadows. But more is at stake than Snow's revenge or even the fates of the 5 girls, and she must learn all she can about Lyric's magic and her own before it's too late. So this does give me Girls of Paper and Fire vibes, which I didn't like, but it was the writing style I didn't like. I really enjoyed the story, so I'm hoping that this will give me what I was missing from Girls of Paper and Fire and kind of just and impress me. But it does sound like it would be really, really good. All right, that is all of the arcs that I still have left on my docket for the end of the year, and I hope I get around to reading all of these and all of the books on my spooky list. And, you know, the end of the year, the last 3 months for me, October, November, and December, they're always a whirlwind because I have a tendency to get behind, and I have a tendency to want to do readathons and challenges and stuff like that, knowing I have other responsibilities. I do this to myself. Just so you guys know, I do this to myself. All right, that is it for me today. Like, subscribe, do all the fun things. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!